today. I got to wait a few hours. But yeah, the meloxicam doesn't do shit. So
I'm
um,
sorry.
but
That sucks.
Happy New Year's, everybody. I don't know who's here. Is anybody watching us right now?
I doubt it. They're probably all sleeping.
Yeah,
But
awesome
anyway,
one is
It
here.
Happy
says
New Year.
nobody's watching. It says nobody's watching right
Yep.
now.
Awesome
Zero.
one is here.
Oh, now it says 3 are here. Okay. No,
Come on,
seriously, it was at 0. And I'm like, oh,
I
nobody's
know.
watching.
I
It's
saw.
fucking New Year's.
stop bitching and play the intro.
Yeah,
Oh,
please. Be
yeah,
a
I guess we
pro.
should start the show. I'm never going to be a pro.
I know.
Let's see. What am I? Yeah. So dramatic. Ever. Who made this? Oh my God. There it goes. There we started. Yay. It's Monday morning. It's New Year's, January 1st. I hope everybody had a safe and prosperous New Year's Eve. This show is brought to you today by Mildred and Martin.
What the fuck, man? No,
That's
you don't have permission to do that.
They are going around hiding Christmas trees.
What?
They're hiding the Christmas tree. I love that picture.
Stephen, why are you not on the panel? Come on, talk with us. Don't just listen to us.
Permission or not, I had to show that because I love that photo a lot. And but like I said, it's Martin and Mildred trying to hide a Christmas tree. What's up with that? Why don't you like Christmas trees? Why are you trying to hide it?
I'm surprised he's having a Christmas tree with all the cats in his house. How does that work?
I don't
Oh.
know. I got to be honest. I've always been lucky. Every single cat I've ever had never got into my trees. It's like my kids. My children were all never tried to get into shit they weren't supposed to. So how do you do it, Martin?
Well, that's not my house.
No, it's not your house.
Okay.
All right. So we've got Awesome One is here. Deleted Scenes, Dragon Ruse. Good morning. Happy New Year. We're going to be talking about one more film that helped inspire Vindicated Inc., my graphic novel. Back in the day on HBO. I do believe when I saw it on HBO, but I was already on my own and with a kid of my own because I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on TV, and I'm pretty sure it was HBO.
Wasn't it the first one made for HBO too?
I think it was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
There was another film that pops into my head, and I can't think of the name of it. I can look it up real quick. I will point out today that there is some happy news for people who don't give two shits about Zack Snyder's Netflix movies. Like myself, I just don't think they're very good. You know, the movie Rebel Moon, whatever the title was, subtitle, has been dethroned very quickly by Meg 2. This is according to Forbes. Forbes said that Meg 2 kicked the shit. Wow. Kicked the shit out of it. Rebel Moon couldn't get above 24%, while Meg 2 got 73% of the audience.
Ouch.
So that should tell you something.
Uh-huh.
That movie's bad, man. Bad movie.
Well, it does say that Rebel Moons that weekend was a bit higher with 44% when they released Meg 2 on, but 73 still kicks the shit out of 44. Number 2 on in the USA is Mario Brothers, and number 3 is Rebel Moon, whatever the subtitle is. Don't care. Never going to watch it. Hated the trailer. So,
Ariel Ballet joined us.
Ariel Ballet.
Hey, Ariel. Oh,
Gerry called me names, says that I'm a degenerate, but I can't because I'm a nun now.
What? No. No one's
I
buying
have
that.
never
Ariel.
called you names. Oh, well,
Said that I
hey.
called names. So, yeah.
no. New avatar.
Yeah, I heard there's going to be another Avatar from Cameron, too. Didn't see the second one, didn't care to. I didn't like the original film.
No. I'm talking about Ariel. She changed.
I know, but you said Avatar, so.
Yeah. Oh, fuck off.
But, I mean, to anybody that wants to watch those films, God bless you. You go ahead. But my time's more important to me for what I do watch.
I saw the first one in the theater and I didn't really care.
It was
long.
It was okay. It was long. And I want a little bit more bang for my buck when I'm going to spend like over 2 hours in a movie theater. Plus, if it's going to be over 2 hours, they respected the audience back in the day. They give you a break. You go, you know,
it was still too long.
Intermission.
Yeah.
But movie makers have a tendency of not respecting the audience very much. And I don't want to say that about Martin Scorsese, but I thought it was kind of shitty not to have an intermission for his movie. So people can fucking hate me for saying it all they want to. I don't care. Do not care. This is my opinion. Nobody's changing it. The first Avatar movie was nothing but it was Pocahontas, and I got to be honest,
with wolves.
It was a little Dances with Wolves, but it was also a whole lot of Smurfs.
Yeah, that's true.
Dances with Smurfs.
You know, I kept like going, why did they pick blue? Because now all I'm thinking is Smurfs, and oh my God, it is Smurfs. Instead of a mushroom, it's a giant tree. Oh gosh, what a fun guy Cameron is. But
Jesus, take a chill pill, man.
It's a joke. It's a fun guy. Fungus. Anyway, in the singular to the non-plural form.
If you have to explain a joke, it wasn't a good one.
That's not true. If you have to explain a joke, don't bother explaining it because someone was too stupid to fucking get it.
Or maybe there's a
just kind of 747 right over their head.
Or maybe
I'm not saying
barrier.
that the audience is like that, but I'm going to say that people that tend to not speak English as their first language don't get my jokes a lot.
You have a weird sense of humor to begin with.
Mm-hmm. What about Chicken did to Avatar as a Smurfs parody? I love that.
Oh my God, that sounds hilarious.
Oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to look it up. The park is mine, so I can have access to some of the trivia with that. God, I like this movie so much. And Tommy Lee, man, he was coming up doing movies like that. Not to mention Yaphet Kotto is in it, and he was one of my favorite actors when I was a kid, thanks to, Alien. I mean, he was like my favorite character in the movie Alien. So I'm going to open up a couple of windows here. Ooh, can you hear my computer?
No. Yeah, I just heard something for a moment.
Excited. It's like the fans really going on the inside going, you're doing a lot of stuff at once. Do you really want to do that?
Yeah, stop touching your computer in weird places, please.
Why would you turn and make it so gnarly? By the way, I saw that post this morning on Twitter where somebody was like doing the rounds again with the name a movie you've seen more than 7 times with just a GIF. And I'm like, okay, this is my post. Okay, this question isn't really made for real nerds. So allow me to make a slight edit. Quote, name a movie you've seen more than 100 times with just a GIF. End quote. And of course, I put the thing in there. I could put so many movies. Christopher Moonlight Productions put Aliens by James Cameron. Back when Cameron could really make a good movie. God, I love that movie, Aliens. It's basically Gargamel making the Avatar machine and trying to fit in. Yeah, exactly. Ghostbusters. Yes. I would say I've seen Ghostbusters about 70 times since it came out.
That's impressive.
The movies that are over 100 are Blade Runner. And I'm including every version because every version is still Blade Runner. I've seen it over 100 times. I've seen The Thing over 100 times. I've seen Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, both over 100 times. Not Return of the Jedi. I'm not as big a fan of that film. Let me think. Conan, I'm just under 100. I think I've seen it about 75 to 80 times. And I can sit down and try to count out every single time I've seen it because I remember every single time I've seen the film. I think they do that on Twitter just for impressions. Of course it is. But I care about nerddom. I care about something that's a little more interesting. And I want to see people who've seen a movie 100 times or more. And Chris, boom, already. I know Nick Weiser's got a few too.
I don't even have seen a single movie 10 times. That's so weird.
I even tagged Doomcock because I know he's got a handful of films he's seen at least 100 times. I was a Ghostbusters fan so bad that I basically managed to burn Ghostbusters 1 and 2 onto a CD. So basically the sound, and when I go on long trips, you can take them with you. Yeah. I have Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on my hard drive. Plus, I have the DVD. I don't have the Blu-ray on that one. You know how close a movie is to my heart by if I own it on Blu-ray. But I don't, for a long time, I stopped collecting. What do they call it? DVDs and videotapes. What is that called?
VHS?
No, there's a name for collecting the movies that way. The
Physical
fanzines.
media.
Physical media. Thank you. Physical media. I had close to about $10,000 worth of movies, and a guy stole them from me. And at least 1,000 of it was my daughter's movies. And I stopped collecting physical media when that happened because it's so devastating. And what's worse is we had a shitty prosecuting attorney. I gave him a complete list of every movie. I knew every pawn shop that he visited and what movies he took to each pawn shop. And the cops were like, we've got this. Prosecuting attorney felt that I should have serial numbers. I said, they're fucking movies. Who put serial numbers? He was being a dick because he was having sex with a girl that I was friends with. And I'm still friends with to this day. And he had lied to her and said he was leaving his wife when in fact he was quite happily married. He was just wanting to get a little strange on the side, and he decided to use my friend for that. And I busted him for it and told her what he was doing. And he got mad at me and he refused to help get my stolen merchandise returned to me. And but anyway, I stopped collecting physical media. Now I have, I think, close to 20 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs that were gifts to me because somebody didn't want to buy me the Blu-rays.
I don't really see the point in collecting physical media, though. I mean, it's all available online. It takes up so much space. I'm too
There's a
practical for
reason that
I
you're
guess.
not knowing because you don't do it. The reason why is because you get a lot of behind the scenes documentaries and you get the commentary from the filmmakers, crew, cast.
Okay, that is cool.
And
And
there are, sorry,
no, go ahead.
there are three reasons more, potentially four. Now, reason number one is if you depend on streaming, you're fucked because they can take it out of the catalog. So
If they
you can
take it out
see
of the
it.
catalog, worse than that, and this happened to me already, I bought copies of films and from a video on demand service, they went out of business.
Yep.
Guess what? I don't have any more of those movies. So I learned quickly, they say you own it, but you don't really own it because you can't download it. They want you to use their proprietary software to watch that movie. So what you're paying for is not the rights to own the movie, but the rights to watch that movie anytime you want to on their service. I have seen Jurassic Park probably about 20 or 30 times, the original. You know, I saw it 3 times in the theater, and that's what one thing that defines a nerd is the fact that we have a tendency of repeat viewing in theaters. And it's the thing that made Star Wars all its money. Indiana Jones too, Star Trek. Our nerds, we tend to go to see movies quite a few times.
I need to hand in my nerd card then.
You'll see them more with me.
I don't like to go to the movies in the first place.
It's so expensive to go to a theater now. Anyway,
it's not just that they are filthy and there's people around you, and I'm just like, no, I'll wait until it's available on streaming and watch it at home. I'm sorry.
I took Travis for Christmas. I took him for his Christmas gift to go see a movie at the Alamo. I paid almost $60 for
Crazy.
2 tickets and our meals, and it was just hot wings.
When anime is there with you, you have to buy her a hazmat suit so you can take it to the theater.
No, he's worse than I am with germs.
She's like the little boy in the bubble. Which was that was turned into a movie with John Travolta while the kid was still alive, and then the kid died, and it was like that movie just sort of died with it. You never saw it again. It's like, we shouldn't show that movie again. He's dead now. I actually enjoyed
Jurassic Park.
LP.
JP is a typo.
Oh.
The lost word. Yeah, that was the first. The first.
That was the second film.
Yeah, but was the first acceptable version of Godzilla?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. I enjoyed it, but that's all I enjoyed it was 3 or 4 times. I didn't want to see it again. I enjoyed some of the Easter eggs that were in there. I love the effects. I love Jeff Goldblum. It was fun. But and I also like what's his name, Howard, that played sort of the bad guy that worked for the corporation. Not Terrence Howard. That's the black dude. Something Howard. Oh, fuck, I forget his name.
The part that I love was when the T-Rex was rampaging through the city, and they made a close-up of the Japanese group.
Yeah, a little homage to Godzilla right there. Let's see. Though I really wish the hunter they had in the second movie managed to have more scenes. Well, the hunter in the first film didn't get killed that way. I don't think he died at all.
No, he didn't die in the book.
Yeah, and I was like pissed. I mean, it was really good, clever girl, and all that. And he was a great actor. I love him. He died not long after. He died young. And he did another film with Mark Hamill that I really like. And Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton, Mark Hamill, F. Murray Abraham, and the guy that played Gandhi. I just forgot his name. English actor. Oh, fuck a diddle. I forgot his name. He's in it. And then, of course,
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley. And it was called Slipstream. It was a little low-budget sci-fi film that came out. And Bob Peck is the actor I'm talking about. He plays the android who has killed his master per his wishes. He was in pain. He was dying. And so he becomes hunted by Mark Hamill, a marshal. And this is the world where everybody travels by these mini planes. So it was a fun little sci-fi film. I like it. They have yet to do a cleanup of that movie for Blu-ray. Every single time they say they do a Blu-ray release, it's not. It's still SD. They tried to uptick it. It still looks like crap. It looks muddy. Bob Peck. Oh, Ben Kingsley. Yeah.
No, he wasn't in Temple of Doom.
He was not. How racist of you, Ariel. Every English actor looks like they're from India. What is this, Ghostbusters? I love this opening scene. Looks like something from Ghostbusters.
Well, it's in New York.
Yeah, everything from New York looks like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Dana's apartment was in front of the park.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley is not in Temple of Doom. I can look up the two guys' names. Temple of Doom.
You can't out-nerd the nerds on this area.
I am typing with these fucking gloves on. Okay. Amrish Puri played the part of Molaram, and Roshan Seth played Chaturlai.
No, I think she's talking about the elder of the Indian village.
Oh, he was an actual elder. He was from there. He's been in other films, though. But there he is. D.R. Nanayakara is that guy.
Oh, my God. Here, look at that. The latest scene is schooling us. Roshan Seth. Well.
Oh, okay. That's the other guy. Roshan Seth is the one who greets them when they get to Pencott Palace. There's Tommy, still young looking. Mourning the death of a soldier who has committed suicide.
He was dying.
And he wasn't getting treatment. The treatment he needed from the VA. So, and that's really what's, at the heart of this, because it's one thing that I talk about in Vindicated is the problem with, the VA, because the VA is nothing more than a microcosm version of social medicine for veterans, socialized medicine for veterans. And it works about as well as socialized medicine, because it's like once you get in there and getting treated, you usually get good treatment. But the problem is the waiting process. And this is where we get a lot of people who die waiting, as well as commit suicide. I'm not supposed to say that word. Oh, well, I did. It's just terrible. The death rate that we've got with, American soldiers or allied soldiers who aren't getting the treatment they deserve, the help they deserve.
The problem with the military is they're so good turning people into killing machines, but they suck at taking care of them.
It's the reality of the military. It's the reality of the military. I would not want the people that are good at training people to kill to be the ones in charge of making sure that they realign with society. That's really society's responsibility for those people serving for them. It's society's right and purpose to help veterans reassimilate into society. And so I look at them. I don't look at the VA. I do think the VA is responsible financially to help these soldiers, but we need citizens working with them, not military personnel trying to help them get back. The only people that are going to help them from the military are fellow veterans.
I'm not saying the military should help them directly, but they should make sure there are people to help them.
Absolutely.
And that's where they are failing.
Look who's here.
Hey,
our favorite frog.
Emotionally unstable
Crazy
amphibian.
frog.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Now, Ariel was in the hospital, so is Ariel out?
Yes, thank God.
She has been out for a couple of days, thank God.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. No, Roshan Seth, not that I'm aware of, The guy who played Gandhi was Ben Kingsley. Look, they were not treated very nicely by civilians. It was bad. I was there with my brother when he came back, and
well, there was a lot of bullshit press about the Vietnam War.
I watched my own brother get spit on at the airport. And so,
because people were given bullshit information. They weren't
that's the media.
The truth about the war.
The media began to show its true colors in the 1960s. And, Walter Cronkite was a piece of shit, a liar, a bald face, inveterate liar. Because when he sent that footage from the Tet Offensive home, CBS added sound effects to it because the battle was already over. And it was just a bullshit report. Dale Dye was there when he made the recording. So, but Vietnam veterans really got a bad term, but Hollywood loved to create false narratives where they showed Vietnam veterans as dysfunctional miscreants. They're broken. And that's not what they were. They were betrayed by their government, betrayed by their citizens, and treated like crap. And that's why it's so important when you meet a Vietnam veteran to tell them welcome home. Because they didn't get that when they came back. No parades. Just shuffle them in quietly. Don't let anybody know.
They didn't want parades anyway, but they deserved something. And they didn't get
the only veterans that they were kind to on the college campuses were the ones who joined them, like the guy that is the main character in Born on the 4th of July. Guys like that were involved in the protests were treated nicely. I like this. He's scoping the place out because he got an entire list of things that guy wanted to do.
Well, he had it all planned out, but then he decided to jump.
No. The other guy had more than half of the plan already in motion. He planned all the landmines and the traps.
But now he has this whole plan, and at first he's like, "Oh shit, this is way too crazy to ever work."
By the way, did you notice that his unibrow was gone?
Yeah.
He finally figured that out.
This is the Rambo scene. And then, I don't like you because I don't like you. Get out of here. I mean, the guy was just sitting in the park reading a piece of paper.
Map. It was a map. That's all it was.
My favorite part in this movie is that reporter lady who almost gets herself killed because she's so eager on getting the story.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, there were a lot of veterans, and not just Army or Marines. The Air Force, and they saw little action during the Tet Offensive in particular. And the Navy saw a lot of action. Because they had to deal with gunboats, pilots, and shit. They saw combat. Oh, my goodness. Closing some windows. Keith just keeps sending me fucking videos.
He knows you're doing a show right now.
And he monologues too. He'll monologue it. Okay, I'm going to read you one of his messages he sent me this morning. Right as the show is starting this morning. One of the major reasons why people that currently run Hollywood who are part of the trend in the advocating for marginalized are the real bad guys. Instead of race swapping or changing genders so that they could use profits from popular or known IPs, they could adapt or illuminate lesser known stories, characters from marginalized people and countries, yet they choose to take the lazy way out because it makes it easier to start fights, arguments in order to show that they are virtuous rather than just creating opportunities for new characters and creators. He's spot on with this. It is far easier to create a chaos for self-service than it is to create a truly enlightened or entertaining project. You are being played by people who care nothing about how you identify or what you believe. They need to lay waste through social media and personally to what exists, as well as to the people that own popular IPs along with their fans, so that they can create instant wealth and influence rather than working to build it themselves. There are more people out there that believe in helping and becoming allies than you have led, and he's talking about Hollywood, than they have led by the nose to believe. And the fact is, they're failing. Their film ideas just don't work. So, but this is the kind of shit that Keith does in the morning. By the way, he visited me last night to wish me
that's
Happy
nice.
New Year's. He came in.
But yeah, messages like that's Keith doing TGIF on a Monday while being offline.
Yeah, I've chewed him out. Stop doing shows when we're not recording or broadcasting.
I'm doing that too.
Save it
Keith,
for
you're
the
doing
show.
a show before the show.
Hey, Dead Man Walking. We joined you
Hi,
last
Deadman.
night.
We did.
We joined you for Animus New Year's Eve.
I was there when I was waiting for you to wake up. I can't believe you did this 24-hour stream. That's crazy, man. How do you do it?
Well, we've talked about doing it, but we're going to do it in cycles to where other people will run the show during the 24 hour or 72 hours. It was for Tom and I were talking about doing a telethon and doing live streaming on all our channels where we, share the broadcast and for a good event or charity.
That's a fantastic idea.
I think so too. Tom and I came up with that just talking. Ariel, why would you do such another thing? Lady V is here. Hi, Lady V. Because I had the outfit. So it went with the less sexual. No, dear. Mine was 3 hours, 30 minutes. I passed out after that. I was awake till midnight, but I just didn't want to deal with people. Anyone knows how I am. I tend to just, I get a point where I just don't want to talk to people. I just want to be alone. I went invisible, and I right around midnight, I jumped on and played some Call of Duty. I'm now invisible on Call of Duty. I look to see if Martin is on, because I always want to invite Martin. But it always shows that he's online.
It's impossible.
What's impossible? To join me?
No, to be shown online. I even had opened the application. Hell, my computer was off.
That's odd.
Well, it showed you online last night.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I will invite people that are on my friends list, but I don't want people inviting me.
Oh, I know. It may be the phone app.
That might be why, because it showed you online. But let me see. I went to bed hell early. I think I fell asleep around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Pacific time. I was awake. I was awake until 12:30. I made sure to wait up for Animus because I knew she set an alarm. I was going to say,
I was hanging out with Gerry until like 2 a.m. or something. Then I just
your
had to go
time.
to bed. I got so tired. My time, yeah. But I set an alarm for my 7 a.m., which is Gary's midnight. And when that alarm went off, I was like, "The fuck is happening?" And then
the minute you start to sound drunk to me, I'm like, "You're tired. You need to go to bed."
But I was so confused by that alarm, as for the cats, because they thought it was feeding time, but it was like 3 hours early. So it was.
What do they call gnomes in Mexico, Martin?
What?
What are gnomes called in Mexico? Because I know you got little people down there.
Gnomes in Spanish. The Spanish word for gnome is gnomos.
I thought it was going to be more exciting. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Scribe Light, what's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Scrub.
And Happy New Year to everybody that's jumped in. Oh, I love this cop here. She's not taking him seriously. Then all of a sudden, for some reason, she suddenly does. It's like the shit he says at the beginning when she's not taking him seriously is when I would have taken him serious.
Well, it is absurd, though, to take over Central Park alone.
Yeah, but he talked
It's-
about explosions.
Yeah, he was talking about explosives. So, and he
God,
still remains a New York Yankees fan.
Hey, Scrabbler's in the house.
We just said hi to
Yes,
him.
I said hi, Scrub Light, and Happy New Year. I would be surprised. And I got to tell you something. The body armor in this looks so fucking silly. It's clearly not real body armor.
Well, that was the 80s, man. They used what they had.
They made those for the movie, and
They probably didn't have a big budget.
It just looked
They
really
look,
bad.
They look like the
RoboCop looks so much better.
No. This armor it looks like the Lieutenant Hancock in RoboCop. The head of the SWAT team.
Ah. You know, it would have been funny if they had the mayor from Ghostbusters.
That would have been funny.
Was that black cop the same actor that played Running? He's in Running Man. Yes, he is. That's Yaphet Kotto. We just lost him a few years ago. Yaphet Kotto is best known as, was it Parker in Aliens? Or an alien?
Parker, yes.
Yeah.
Brett was the other one.
Brett was the other character. They're the two best characters. My favorite characters. I could care less about Ash, Dallas, and the rest of them. The one I cared about, the two I cared about was Brett and Parker. They were the working class guys on the ship.
Yeah, look at that. It looks so cheap.
I wouldn't be surprised. He looks like a mayor. He just does. That was perfect casting in Ghostbusters. I'll go look. See what he did.
Typecast as a mayor. Okay.
Let's see. Cast. There we go.
Ariel, everything is spelled backwards in our slideshows. That's how you do it.
No, she's having a syncopal episode.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
The movies are right way around. What surprises me is that the logo isn't backwards.
The reason
Martin must have had a boomer moment.
No, I took this slideshow from the European version. That's why it's all written backwards.
Oh, fuck you. Being racist here.
This is the Cyrillic version. Hey, Shenatsky. Hi, good to see you, man. And
Hi,
for
Shanatsky.
you?
Happy New Year. DPYN? What is she talking about? Oh, NYPD.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still asleep. I'm still
Why are they
asleep.
not showing? They're not showing the actor who played the mayor. Finally, there he is. David Margulies played the mayor in Ghostbusters. We lost him in 2016. But I'm going to look to see. He's played a lot of doctors. Holy crap, a lot of doctors.
Is he related to, what's her name? Juliana, I think, who played the nurse in ER?
Possibly. at least distantly.
Because that's not a common
Nope.
last name.
That's why I run into somebody with the same last name as mine, even if it's with the one L. I go, "What's up, cuz?" Because it's a very small family.
Is that why you're such a jerk? Incest?
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh, I'm getting the look.
Oh.
I'm in trouble. That was some serious stink eye. And now he's not talking to me anymore. Oh,
I'm looking up stuff right now.
I know.
He's played a lot of cops. He's played a lot of doctors, and he's played the mayor at least twice. I'm not seeing anymore. Nope. God, a lot of cops. Some guys get stuck in roles like that. It's like the black actor that's in Fright Night. He plays the detective. He is like made a career playing cops. I'm talking about the original Fright Night, the real Fright Night.
That's another way of typecasting, I guess.
It is, because actors have a certain look. And it's just, it happens. Yes, he was the psychiatrist in Ace Ventura. Yeah, this is what I like about this scene is like they just think they're just going to go in there and get this guy, and he's just proved them wrong. Like, no, this is planned out. I don't want to hurt you, so back off. The part is mine.
Yeah. Also, he's a trained soldier, and they are just cops. They have no idea how tactical thinking works.
Yeah, there was only a small percentage of military at that time that were going into law enforcement. Much more today. And I think so. It's a good thing because military personnel who become cops tend to be more disciplined in how they do things. They also have better weapons training.
That's exactly what the police would need in the U.S.
I got so pissed when I saw those images coming out of that town just outside St. Louis a few years back. And you had SWAT moving through town with their weapons at the high ready, pointing at people. And I'm just like, this is just bad weapons discipline.
Yes.
Bad. You don't do that. In the military, you're taught not to lift your weapon until you're ready to fire it.
Look, Dana's building.
Yep. I pointed that out while we were watching it. There was another thing Anima and I were watching. I went, oh, there's the building from Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's true.
No, because this guy, Walter Koenig, he did more than Trek.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a lot of success. And that's just a simple fact. It was hard, far and few between, where they were very successful with their careers.
Well, Trek was just too big a thing.
Nimoy did better as a director. And he did a lot of work in the 70s and 80s. But even with Mission Impossible, he wasn't very good on that show. As Paris, he was just not a very good character. He was meant to be a replacement for Roland Hand, played by the original actor that was going for Spock.
This slime is coming back.
Oh, this guy? Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's your
The
typical
character, not the actor.
Yeah, the character. Yeah, I know nothing about this actor.
You see the Japeth Koto character. He got very fast the level of the threat He
Yeah.
knew. He knew what they were facing. And nobody listened to him. You can see he spent 75 of the movie with a frustration in expression in his face.
Yeah, I know. Yes, this was the first movie for HBO. I did double check on that, by the way. Who asked that?
I
It
said that
was
as big.
is you okay. Widely considered to be a rarely seen cult classic movie which addressed high crime in New York City, Vietnam veteran issues, political expediency, and often senseless cruelty in modern society. Those were all subjects in this film. The
It's not that
screenplay
violent a movie,
is
though.
the screenplay is credited to Lyle Gorsh, who was a character played by Warren Oates in The Wild Bunch. Industry publications at the time of the film's production list Larry Brothers as the author of the screenplay. He requested to have his name removed from it. Despite all the violence depicted in the movie, only 3 people actually die. 2 by gunfire, 1 by suicide.
It's not
The
that violent. I
assault
think.
rifle, the assault rifle Mitch uses for the most part of the movie is the Soviet-made AK-47. Let's see. The belt-fed machine gun Mitch is using toward the end of the movie against Verdunken is a World War II German MG-42, which is an amazing gun.
It was
There
a
are
42
now
or a
31 Argus video cameras around the park. That's interesting.
I thought it was a 32. I saw it. Okay. Now the thing is, all the bullets he was carrying for that gun, they were all blanks. When they do the close-ups, you can see that there's no bullet in the casing.
But that may have been something he was wanting to do. He didn't want to shoot anybody.
No, because that's the one that when he killed the Viet Cong guy and went back for the MG, that he was going with the intention to kill, and you can see the
Then it's
Yeah.
it's a screw up. Yeah.
It
You
looks
should
like
pause when you see it. When you see the
Oh.
blanks, pause so I can show people what we're talking about. Because what they had is wax and or paper wadding on the ends, and they're pinched off.
Mhm.
There's no round. It's just the load. And in film, they use what's called a hot load. It's got a little more bang in it because the flame that comes out of the end of the weapon will often go so quickly on a real weapon that when film shoots at 24 frames per second, that means that there's the guy that got shit canned off of Cheers, that reporter.
Okay.
He said something as a joke about what's her name, Danny DeVito's wife, Rhea Perlman,
Oh,
and about having to kiss her. And he was immediately shit canned. She was listening to the show that day.
Oops.
Yeah. He did pretty well, though. He had a good career, but yeah, he got shit canned immediately from the show. You always need a bureaucratic slime bucket like this guy. In Ghostbusters,
He's so
it was
good at
Walter
playing
Peck.
that.
Walter Peck was the bureaucratic slime ball for Ghostbusters. So, oh man, I bet Kelly loved doing that episode of TOS where they did the OK Corral.
yeah,
Because he was in
I guess.
one of the versions of the story, the one with Henry Fonda, and I think Kirk Douglas.
And he was mainly a Western actor, just like Bruce Boxleitner. When it was famously known that he didn't understand Tron, and
By the way, he wears his makeup like he's going to be Batman that night.
well, he almost
He puts a lot of black around his eyes. I am curious what some of DeForest Kelly's favorite episodes were. I don't know if anybody ever asked him that question. That's a question I would have loved to have asked him. Like, what were your favorite episodes that you did?
I suppose that
Oh my God, his wife, ex-wife, what a bitch. A complete narcissist. Only in the third act does she finally come around, going, "This is my fault, isn't it?"
Yeah, she's terrible. All about herself.
Yeah, her needs. He makes it like it's about the kid, but it's really her needs she's talking about. You owe me something. You're responsible for this shit. And there goes the reporter. She's going to go put her life on the line to go hang out with a Vietnam vet.
She's crazy.
Oh, I can guarantee you he did. Shore Leave, I know, is probably one of his favorites. Because that was one of the prettiest women ever on Star Trek that had a love interest in him. She was only in that one episode. I thought, here you got a female that clearly is interested in him and he's interested in her. Never hear from her again.
well, they got him married then.
Yeah, but that's off screen. That happened in between the series and the films. In the book.
No,
Because he left.
he got married on the asteroid.
I don't remember that.
The people who live in a ship that
I know what you're talking about. Because that's who he went back to. But Kirk got married too. But that bitch had to die.
Miramani.
You cannot have Kirk married
No.
during the show.
He has to be a womanizer.
Even though he really wasn't.
He wasn't a womanizer.
He wasn't. He got that reputation because of jokes and fandom. And it's just, no, actually, he didn't do that often.
What is this?
Well, the EU stuff from Star Trek is really based on TOS. And they even assimilated stuff from the animated series. Because it is canon. No matter how much it annoyed Gene Roddenberry that the show existed. But he also tried to say that Star Trek V isn't canon. She's thinking he's going to assault her.
Yeah, this is when she finally realizes that this is serious shit happening. That she's in danger.
We need a clip from The Simpsons. I'm in danger.
Oh, Riker all the way.
Yeah, definitely.
He was such a horn dog. He even went for
a genderless species.
A genderless species. Absolutely.
Kirk just likes to take his shirt off.
Neither male nor female. He was like, I'm all up on that. It's pretty. I like it. I like it because it's pretty.
I imagine someone saying to him, dude, that's not a girl. That's not a dude either.
Yeah.
And of course, Riker would be like, they would say to Riker, well, it doesn't have a vagina. It's like, I don't need one. That's Riker.
Oh my.
I don't know. There's 2 other holes. I'm good.
I don't even know what to say.
Single
It's
best
moments
acting in the
like
movie
this.
is this girl right there, the ex-wife.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Moments like this one when I'm asking myself, what am I doing on this channel?
I am curious though when he decided to clean up the unibrow. I need to go look that up when he finally did.
Probably a woman told him how stupid it looks.
No, it's probably his agent or a manager.
Yeah, or an agent.
Man, you get more roles if you shave that shit between your eyes. You're a good actor. But it's important to get rid of the unibrow Nobody wants to look like Bert from Bert and Ernie.
Right.
There's a movie that he did. Well, he's got one. Broken Vows is one of them I told you about. It's a made-for-TV movie he did. Really good one where he plays a priest. And I'm going
Ariel
over
is
that.
getting really dirty.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Jesus.
If they're fat enough to get the fold of the elbow,
Ah.
the antecubital space. That's what that's called. A lot of people don't know that. Antecubital space. That's what that's called.
Thanks, Ariel, for giving him ideas.
Yeah. He really needs that, you know?
He was on Jackson County Jail movie as a bit part. He was in the movie The Amazing Howard Hughes, made for TV back in the Rolling Thunder, as I said, was his big breakthrough role. Then he was in The Betsy. And this is one I remember him from. First time I saw him as a kid, before I saw Rolling Thunder, I saw Eyes of Laura Mars. Because I didn't see Rolling Thunder in the theater. I saw it on either HBO or Showtime. God, he was also in Coal Miner's Daughter. I forgot about that. He is. I remember that now. And here's the one that blew my mind and told me this guy is a good actor, was when he played Gary Gilmore in The Executioner's Song. That's a tough movie right there, man. He chose to be executed by gun. They gave him an option.
What was the other option?
Hanging, or I don't know if they did electrocution there or lethal injection, but I think it was hanging or to be executed by gunfire. And he chose to go out.
I would go with gunfire too.
And that's what he did in real life. Gary Gilmore was a horrible human being. He earned that right to be put down. He was a scumbag. And if you've never seen that movie, it's really good. The Executioner Song came out in 1982.
I haven't.
Oh, man. This
Oh, my God. Mike Barron just made a post. He says, got up, got out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. Oh, nobody gets that unless you're a Beatles fan. And then
you know I'm not.
Sabi Overby wrote, found my way downstairs and drank a cup. And looking up, I noticed I was late. Oh.
Ariel has a question here.
Yeah. How many movies has Jonathan Frakes directed?
Jonathan Frakes.
I think he has directed
idea.
more TV than movies.
Yeah, I
We
think
did
so
that
too.
Time Stoppers one. I forget the name of it. Was it Time Stoppers?
Clock Stopper?
Was that it?
I don't remember.
Let's go look, see what he's done as a director. Close that one. Focus on directing. He directed 8 episodes of Next Generation, directed 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine, directed an episode of University Hospital, directed 3 episodes of Voyager, 1 episode of Diagnosis Murder. He directed the video game Star Trek Klingon. He directed First Contact, Insurrection. He directed the TV movie Star Patrol. I don't remember that. He did 5 episodes of Roswell, a show I'd never watched. Then he directed Clock Stoppers, which I watched with my daughter. He directed 1 episode of Twilight Zone, the new series that came out in the 2000s. He directed the movie Thunderbirds, which my daughter and I enjoyed. Let's see. He directed The Librarian, Return of King Solomon's Mines in 2006. Masters of Science Fiction. He did one episode. He did The Librarian 3. He directed one episode of Dollhouse, which I didn't think was a good series. He directed one episode of V, the new series. I didn't watch this show. Persons Unknown, did 3 episodes. I did watch The Good Guys. He directed 2 episodes of that. I enjoyed that show.
Yeah, that we thought a lot more TV than movies that he directed.
Yep. Leverage, Make It or Break It, Truth Be Told, Castle, The Glade.
Castle? He did Castle? I didn't know.
He directed 3 episodes. He worked on 5 episodes of Burn Notice, which I thought was a really good show towards the last 2 seasons. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he did 1 episode. Hindsight, I don't know what that is about. Switched at Birth, sounds stupid. Falling Skies, which Dale was involved with. He directed 3 episodes. He directed, let me look for something good. I don't want to. NCIS Los Angeles, he directed 6 episodes.
Speaking of something good, Gary, it's time to run your ad.
Yes.
Well, let me finish this list. I'm going through a list. Okay. He worked on The Librarians TV series, did 10 episodes. He worked on 2 episodes of The Orville. Let's see. He did 1 episode of Leverage Redemption, which I didn't think was going to be good. He did 6 episodes of Pew Card. He did 1 episode of Stranger Worlds and 7 episodes of the Loser series Discovery. And that's it. So let's pause it here and do our little thing.
Here we go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated, Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated, Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
So getting some responses over on Twitter I'm really liking. From Tree Rock Creations, he put an animated GIF of Wrath of Khan when the Reliance blasting the shit out of the side of the Enterprise. Good GIF. I think this is Enter the Dragon. No, it's Brown Sugar. So Charles has seen Brown Sugar over 100 times. That's cool. I think I've only seen it once. So getting some good responses. This is that moment where you need to get the Narcan and knock the cats out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They're all excited all of a sudden. I'm sorry.
I love the Vindicated trailer.
Yeah, maybe it's...
Is that what it was?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I gave them treats before the show. They were asleep all this time, and all of a sudden they're all over me meowing. You're crazy, guys.
I'm telling you, is that Vindicated, that trailer?
They are so excited about this. Well, I am too.
I'm going to look to see if Tia is in there. She's not in the movie. Maybe it was the TV series. So let's go look at the TV series. Or I could just look up Tia Carrera. I like these gloves because they're very friendly with typing. So let's see if she was in that.
Doesn't the torpedo?
No, that's Relic Hunter.
Made ready?
Okay, I looked it up. The TV show is from 1999 through 2002, and Relic Hunter, clearly based on Laura Croft. I'm looking at the poster and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely inspired by. We'll say inspired by.
I'm confused by Ariel's question. I thought a torpedo has to be like made ready, and then it goes off.
Yeah.
It doesn't just explode because you hit it, right?
Yeah, it's not a chemical explosive. It's a
It's mechanical.
No, it's not mechanical. It's a
because what a phaser is phased plasma. What a torpedo is an actual armed device that's launched at another craft. Or
just
but it doesn't explode because it's being hit.
Yeah, it doesn't have explosive material per se. Just like
well, there is a chance if there's explosive material inside of a torpedo, it could have.
I don't think there is.
But I don't know what's in the photon torpedo. I mean, it's photons, so I don't know. Maybe they require a triggering device in order to.
That's what I think.
It's a good question. I'm sure Michael Okuda would know that answer.
Yeah, right.
Michael or his wife.
Admiral Teague probably knows it too.
And Joe's not here today. What's up with that?
Probably still sleeping.
Yeah. Drank too much last night.
Well, we have kids, you know. We don't have to go too far for those questions.
Go where?
Keith.
We have kids. We can ask Keith.
He's a fucking
No, he doesn't know the answer to that. I guarantee you.
Huh?
No, he's a fact guy about facts. He would not know the answer to that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You would probably get that answer from someone like me or from Teague.
Teague for sure knows the answer to that. He's your Star Trek computer.
Although when he did that one show and he invited Keith and I, we took over the show talking about trivia. Yeah, we did. We took over and just because Keith and I kept talking and talking about trivia and information, because that's what he and I do. We know a lot about Star Trek.
Oh, when you get started, there's no way to get a word in.
Oh man, I love this character, the doctor who is a fucking psycho and propose. Well, we can burn the park and
yeah.
Fuck.
Hey man, this isn't Cloverfield. Because that's what they do in Cloverfield.
I try so hard to forget that movie, man.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it. The one in the bunker that I did like.
What one?
The other Cloverfield movie, the second one, I think, the one with
John Goodman.
With John Goodman.
Yeah, it's a good film, but it wasn't originally a Cloverfield film. It got turned into one. That got one. He's got his fucking top on, man. Take that thing off. You're indoors.
I hate when they make that mistake.
He's a fucking officer, for God's sakes. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. They got both soldiers with their fucking tops on, man.
It looks so stupid.
It really does.
Fucking officers. They should know. That's a bad failure on the movie makers.
Oh, well, you know how it is. My wife was seeing some Korean soap opera, and this guy get run over by an SUV, and then the ambulance arrived, and they took the guy, and you can see the whole trajectory up to the point that his get into the hospital and put on his bed, and never ever once nobody told, hey, we should put a collar on this guy who's been thrown over.
That's a soap opera, though. That's one thing. Making a movie, you should have advisors who pick up on shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't expect much of soap operas, to be honest.
I do want to point out something interesting trivia-wise with this film. Is it was I think the 5th film Tangerine Dream worked on, and Tangerine Dream, no, it's just they worked on more than that, because the first thing they ever worked on was Michael Mann's Thief. I think it was they'd done probably over a dozen soundtracks at that point by the time they did this. And they did put a soundtrack out for this. It was released on VHS in '85 by Key Video, I think was who did it. Because that may also be how I saw the film. Now that I think about it, because I remember when they opened the first video store in Fredericksburg, and I was one of their regular customers. I was like Norm going into Cheers.
I wonder if those emergency phones still exist.
No, they probably just had military people. And no, those phones don't exist anymore.
They didn't have military advisors in the 80s. That's
I'll double check. Are there emergency phones in Central Park today?
I don't think so. Everybody has a mobile phone. What would you need that?
For emergencies outside our primary when is it legal to walk in Central Park at night? Are you allowed to play music? That's not my question. There's no answers. So let me go look at photos.
Google is being
Yes, they still have emergency call boxes. They don't look like that anymore. They actually look like boxes now.
Huh.
Also, they have a really cool one here that has an LED screen that you just punch into and can talk immediately to somebody. But yeah, they still do.
That's interesting. I didn't expect that.
Well, I know they still have at certain mile markers on highways, emergency phone boxes still exist.
Well, that's different. When you're on a highway, you're out in the middle of nowhere. And when your battery dies, what do? That makes sense. But a park in the middle of a huge city?
You can get mugged and your phone gets stolen.
True.
You may need help.
So this is available on Amazon right now. The Park is Mine. Full Blu-ray, 1080p. I'm trying to see if it has any additional features.
And after this movie, now I have to see Small Soldiers.
I am not seeing anything.
No behind the scenes stuff or anything?
I don't see any mention of any.
That's a bummer. I like behind the scenes stuff. Making off and shit like that.
Well, it was their first movie. So maybe they didn't want to spend too much.
It says it has commentary, but it doesn't say by whom. And it says it includes the original theatrical trailer. That's all I see. And it is also mentioned with Black Moon Rising, which I enjoyed that movie, by the way. John Carpenter. I enjoyed that film. And, of course, right next to that is Firebirds.
Black Moon Rising. That's the one that they have to steal
Dale Dye. What?
Is Black Moon Rising the one in which they have to steal a
prototype?
car?
Yeah, prototype. I don't know if anybody heard me. I'll say it again. Let me say it again. Right next to Black Moon Rising is Firebirds, which we talked about with Dale Dye on our show a few weeks back. Very cool.
That's a good question.
What is?
Why? I wonder why the writer took his name off the movie.
He did?
I
Yeah,
mentioned that earlier.
Oh, that's weird.
He didn't have his name taken off. He had his name changed on for the credit, and he took on the name of the character, I think played by Lee J. Cobb. I'll go double check. Let's see. He was mentioned here. Yeah, Lyle Gorsh is the real writer, but he went by a fictional character's name in the credits.
That's a weird thing to do.
I don't know why he chose that. Let me go back to trivia because it's in the trivia. Let's see. Yeah, it was the character played by Warren Oates in the Wild Bunch. Lyle Gorsh is not his real name. Larry Brothers is his real name. Lyle Gorsh is the character played by Warren Oates in the Wild Bunch. So there you go. That's a good quote. Valerie says, "You were in the Marines?" Mitch, no, U.S. Army. Valerie, so what did you do in the Army? Mitch says, sneak into places, blow shit up, and kill people.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Let's see. Let's get some goofs here. After arriving on the scene, Eubanks enters the police trailer with his hat in his hand. Switching to the interior of the trailer, Eubanks enters wearing his hat, removing it as he greets the commissioner. That's a continuity issue.
Yeah.
The movie was filmed in Ontario. The helicopter is sent into the park with the police sniper as a Canadian registry number CGLCD. An NYPD helicopter would have had a U.S. registry starting with the letter N. So that's the two goofs that they have mentioned here, but boy, we have a few.
Yeah.
I do edits over on IMDb, and I just showed Anima that I did a correction because somebody spelled something wrong in the movie's description. And I'm like, what is the URSS? What they meant was the USSR.
Yeah. Well, I had you do a change once because I'm not registered and they got some classical music facts wrong.
Yeah, I corrected that. I remember you didn't like the name of Der Fledermaus from the Tick series, and you had me change that to, or no, it was Batman Well to Der Fledermaus, because you preferred the German name.
Did I? I don't remember that one. You're being so stupid. Stop doing that when I'm barely awake.
Took his name. I don't know when you're wide awake and not. I just know when you're sleepy. Happy New Year's, Andy. You limey
Happy
bastard.
New Year.
Do they celebrate New Year's in England?
Do they celebrate anything?
I think they just have a cup of tea at midnight and go to bed.
Well, as they say there, a spot of tea.
Yeah,
I did that. I said that to somebody that asked me when I went into a tea shop with my dad when I was 13. Do you care for a spot of tea? I prefer a whole cup, thank you. The look I got was worth it.
You must have been a shitty teenager.
I told you what I did in that pub.
Yeah.
We were having breakfast because they served breakfast in this pub. So we're sitting there and they had Tarzan with Johnny Weissmuller on. And they're these three British guys just shitting all over Johnny Weissmuller. And while they're doing that, I started lowly singing in 1814. And I got louder. And then finally everybody got quiet in the bar. And then I finished the song. And then they didn't talk shit about Johnny Weissmuller anymore. As a kid, I loved Johnny Weissmuller. He was very heroic to me. He was an Olympic athlete turned actor, even though he's not a very good actor. Buster Crabbe was also an athlete that turned to being a movie star. He could actually act. You know what I loved about British Breakfast, man? It's not bangers.
my.
It's not the bangers. It's the thick cut bacon.
I knew you would say that.
I loved the thick cut bacon. That was amazing. Oh my God. And the way they poached the egg with frying oil for breakfast, the English and the Irish. So you'll get little black speckles on the top of your egg because they don't flip it over. It's not over easy. They fry it and then they begin splashing the cooking oil.
We don't
onto the
flip
egg.
eggs in Europe. We just put the lid on.
What's
to
how
cook
I do it
and
too.
have
I don't like flipping eggs because there's
That's
too much
the US.
risk of breaking the yolk, and I hate that.
I know so many US American people who are just so scared of runny yolks. It has to be cooked all the way through, but it's chewy. I don't like eggs like that.
I'm not sure I understand your question, Ariel.
Oh,
You mean
about
in the movie?
Yeah, the scene in which the people is
Yeah.
they're a bunch of
It's a bunch of veterans standing up. This is the first film to really deal with this. And it made for fucking TV, HBO, man. And I love this film for that.
Yeah, it was made to raise awareness.
And I also felt this film really handled PTSD very well. Because other shows, like one of my least favorites was the TV spinoff, MASH spinoff, Trapper John MD. And even though I love the cast and I love the series, I got angry when they had a Vietnam veteran take people hostage in there and showing how broken he was and unable to function because he would have these horrible flashbacks that would take him out of reality.
That's
And
not what PTSD
I'm like,
is.
that's not what it is. And stop. That Hollywood likes to talk about shit it doesn't know anything about.
Well, they like to exaggerate to add more drama.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
And they also were against the war, so they got to show how badly the veteran was damaged by the war. And it's ridiculous to do that. It's so disrespectful to the veterans. Show veterans in it. And that's why Dale Dye started doing what he did. It's what got him started. His first movie was that movie Invaders from Mars. Great fucking film. I love the original more, but I also love the remake. I do enjoy that film. And he clear the back blaster up. We had that video. I don't know if we still have it.
We should on the other studio. It should be there.
Let me see if I can find it. I know I have it on my hard drive somewhere. Go into videos, compressed. Oops, wrong folder. That's my porn folder.
Oh my God. That's it. No daytime for you today. You're too naughty.
Let me see if I can find it. Yep, here it is. Found it. Uploading now. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to play it. How much time we got left? Down to the last scene. So
Let me pause it.
I already paused it.
No, so I unpause. Sorry.
Yeah. That's right.
Dragon! Fire the black carrier!
That was his first movie. Before that, all I knew him for was he was the editor-in-chief of SOF magazine. A lot of people thought SOF, of course, meant Special Forces, and I'm like, no, it means Soldier of Fortune. There are a lot of World War II vets that fought in Korean War. In fact, the black airborne Rangers never served in combat during World War II, saw combat in Korea.
Yeah, well, not only you. Japheth
That was
go
just to
to
show how
character.
desperate they are, because they think it's going
Japheth,
to be easy
Japheth
to
go to
take out
character
one.
was pissed off by that too, and he yelled at everybody for that.
But
For
they
which-
thought it would
for-
be easy to get this one guy out, and then they realized it's not, and they get so desperate they send in a VC.
Well, VC, first of all, VC were guerrilla fighters. They weren't soldiers. It would have been more respectful if they had found somebody who was a former NVA and sent him in there.
Well, he's going guerrilla.
We killed off the VC. The Tet Offensive wiped them out. You know, people, again, they don't know their history. It's like we did not lose the Tet Offensive. The Tet Offensive was a brutal learning lesson for the VC, the Viet Cong. They learned by dying for their beliefs. And
you know, that's the picture they like to
weren't
paint over here
Yeah, sure.
about Vietnam.
So you've got this lack of communication, actual communication. So half of the military launched a day early, and they were slaughtered in the battlefield. And then the other half, which included hitting the American compound, which is there's a belief that members of the Vietnamese regulars, South Vietnamese, the ARVN, had helped and used an armor device to break the wall so they could breach the embassy. And those that weren't killed there were run off, and the Viet Cong were over. There was no more combat with Viet Cong after 1968. From that point forward, straightforward North Vietnamese, and it was sort of like a standoff with them until Nixon got into office, and then he bombed Hanoi, and that changed everything. And it led to them joining us in Paris for the Paris peace talks and signing the treaty that they want the war over, because they couldn't afford to fight anymore. We had worn them out. We had killed so many of them. And they hit that point where they signed a treaty. And all we had to do from that point forward was make sure they obeyed the treaty. That's all we had to do. That was end of all conflict. And then, as Don loves to say, our Democratic Congress defunded the war, and we had to pull out early. And that led to the Khmer Rouge, as well as other communists, killing over 2 million citizens for aiding and abetting the war on, the South Vietnamese side, Americans or Australians, New Zealanders. Hey, Snortopus, what's up, Cuber?
Hi, Snort. Ariel, I think the French were in Vietnam half a century, like 50 years or more.
But they were fighting a straightforward war of attrition, and it didn't work. And that's why they failed. And our failure was in not trying to be victorious. We weren't trying to win. We were playing a war of standoff. And it just doesn't work. And that's when you started hearing the importance of body count, was from the Vietnam War, because suddenly that was important. Also, there was the fear by the military to do anything too direct, because they were terrified of the media, which started in the Korean War, but it got worse during the Vietnam War, because that was when they started embedding reporters, and they were reporting stuff very dishonestly. There was a fear of that. And by the way, I brought up the Khmer Rouge. The North Vietnamese, when they started seeing the numbers come in of how many they had killed over in Cambodia, they freaked out, and they killed the Khmer Rouge. The North Vietnamese killed them, took them out and killed them, because they're like, you guys are crazy.
Ariel Ballet, I can just say this. Once the Chinese help you, they don't go. They don't leave.
No, they're going to stay. They're so opposite of what they were before communism, because you never heard stories of China invading anybody until the introduction of communism. it changed their outlook on everything. Hey, it's Ghostbusters. Oh no, it's still the movie. Tommy Lee was really good in this film, and he gets away. You know, in the end, he's going to go to jail, but he survives, and he finished what he set out to do, and that is to get attention to veterans' needs. Stop treating veterans like they're second-class citizens. Stop treating Vietnam veterans as third-class citizens. So I like that film for that reason, and I still don't know why he changed his name, because it's like really weird that he chose that character's name from that movie.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Ariel Ballet.
What's that?
In that closing scene.
Yeah.
When you see it.
I love Ghostbusters so much because there's so many great shots of New York in the movie. Some of the best locations. In fact, there's a scene in that movie you don't like that I really like that is right there at the same corner they dealt with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Cloverfield. My lifelong hatred of the Democratic Party began at this time. I was still a Democrat. My dad was a Democrat. I grew up in an Irish Catholic Democratic family. And but somewhere in the 1980s, after Abscam, my dad shifted. He was so disgusted by what happened with Abscam in particular. And I shifted with him. Even though I didn't really follow my dad's beliefs, I had my own set of beliefs. But it's just funny how he and I see eye to eye so much, even though we fought viciously. We argued like crazy, my dad and I. Because like I'd make fun of him when he would take like Bill O'Reilly's side on a subject. And I'm like, yeah, but Bill O'Reilly doesn't know what he's talking about on this subject. He really doesn't. He's just talking out of turn. And one of them was the show Dexter. Because I said, all Dexter is Batman who admits that he kills. That's all he is. He plays judge, jury, and executioner. He finds somebody, makes certain that they're guilty of what he's going to do, and then he goes and he kills them. And these guys are nasty serial killers, rapists, and things like that. Another word that YouTube hates. Sure, we're going to get demonetized for that, but I'm trying to talk about it. We already are. You know, it's ridiculous. But the Democratic Party didn't go bad for me until Abscam. And it happened in the 80s. And Hubert Humphrey was the last bastion for me that I clung to my Democratic beliefs. And then when he was involved in a pay scheme. And he was one of the few guys I thought was pure and clean as a politician. And my heart broke when he did that. And that's when I turned. I switched. I'm still very liberal in my beliefs of taking care of the poor. You know, it's like there are going to be those that need assistance. So we need to make sure it's there. I used to believe in the public school system. Don't anymore. It's all fucked up. It's just a bloody mess. There's colleges right now that are really starting to pick up right now that are not accepting any government grants of any kind. They're not accepting any money from the federal government, and their classes are cheaper, and things are so much better with these schools. Anytime the government wants to help, it's not going to help. It's going to make things worse.
Because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Also, geez, every time I drive 198, I pass a house where they have a sign outside stating they were factually, your daughter has now become a second-class citizen. Yeah, you get a lot of silly shit like that. People don't know what they're talking about. People who talk with bullet points but no facts. And then you confront those people with facts. They go, well, where did you get that from? Then you tell them where you got it from, and then they get quiet. You didn't win. People think that you won the fight there. No, they're going to continue saying the same shit, just they're going to stop there. They found that they've reached the bulwark and can't get past it. They're shut down for this moment, not for later. They will continue spewing the same garbage. It's ridiculous. I lean conservative, but politically, I'm a man without a country. Both sides. Well, look, man, we've got some real assholes on the Republican ticket, which is why I'll never be a Republican. Ever. Both sides of the aisle only once they're line their pockets. You find it all the time, Stephen, all the time.
By the way, never conflate a country with
Shinatsky's
a
here.
government.
Government has no penalty for failure. In fact, they often get rewarded.
He's been here for a while, Gerry.
I didn't see it. That was the first time I saw him.
Martin put up his banner.
I'm paying attention to what I'm saying. So I miss a lot of things. I'm ADD and all that. That when I'm focused on saying something,
Who
I
would have
tend to
thought?
focus on that.
There's a squirrel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't get distracted that easily. I remember in the Army, I'll just tell you a funny moment. It was the day that I was shooting for the other guy that I told you about. Okay. And I'm aiming not at my lane, I'm aiming at his lane. And I have a drill sergeant sitting behind me on a tree stump. It's not even a tree stump. It's an old, what do you call it? Power pole, wood power pole, cut to a stump. And he's sitting on this thing right behind me. And he's got a handful of rocks hitting me on the back of my Kevlar as I'm firing. I don't miss a shot. And he complimented me. He's like, damn, nothing distracts you. I said, when I become focused, nothing can distract me. And it's just one of those weird things. The Gerry Ignored Club. Want to start a club with me, Shinatsky? The Gerry, yeah. Fine. I'm used to Gerry ignoring me. I do not ignore you.
He just opted for not responding.
That's like
to you.
Martin, said he kept calling me when I was away. And then I call him back and you don't answer when I call. Last night, did you? I called you back because you called me and I knew it was for New Year's. You didn't respond. And then you would call me back. I'm already off. Doing something else. If you hold a mirror up to him, he can't ignore you. Okay. Yeah, wear a mirror and it's just me looking at myself talking. I'm so mesmerized by your beauty.
Like the demons in Constantine. When they see a mirror, they go,
Oh yeah, they get transfixed. I love that. So, but I'm trying to see if I miss it. My lifelong hatred of the Democratic Party began at that time.
No,
yeah. Okay, so I got it all. All right. So Mark Twain did not say politicians in diapers must be changed often and for the same reason, but he should have. Yeah. Look, we did term limits on the president for 8 years. Okay. We need term limits for politicians. There should be no such thing as a political career. Period.
Or the crazy pensions that they get when they retire.
There should be no pensions.
That's just wrong.
They get their pensions from their jobs, not fucking working for the U.S. citizens. That's horseshit. I'm so disgusted with politicians. That includes all of them. That they're not fighting for that. I remember back in 1990 when I was in the Army and heard that they fucking gave themselves a raise. And I'm like, how about us?
Man,
Ones that are going to go fight your war. What about us? You take taxes out of our pay. We're paid by taxes. And you take taxes out of our pay. Just pay us less. I take no taxes out. Yeah, no special medical benefits. Yeah, I tell you, if they were forced to use Obama's plan, they wouldn't have gone for it. If they were forced to take the exact same plan that all American citizens were supposed to be taking, that wouldn't have happened. That's why they fought tooth and nail not to do it. So, but anyway, that's a fun movie. And like I said, it really did have an impact on me to where later I would be influenced by some of the stuff in there, dealing with VA stuff. Because I had one incident in the military where I had the med board process threatened at me, and that all my friends were going to get to go that I served with. But if I had anybody who had an injury, not just me, anybody who had an injury was going to get held back, which is punishment, by the way. You don't get to move forward with your team. You get held back with the med board process. And I'm like, I'll deal with this shit later. That's what I was saying. We'll just deal with that shit later. You never get to deal with it later. And the military does this shit on purpose.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, right now, currently, the state that's doing best is Texas. And they literally could secede from this government and be just fine. They threaten it every once in a while, but they won't do it. California needs to be split into two, Northern California versus Southern California.
Why?
Because Southern California bleeds Northern California dry. Water, taxes, everything. I mean, I lived in Northern California. And if, because all the water for Southern California comes from Northern California. And we're just walking around with a plethora of water. Plenty. But we can't water our lawns, take long showers, or, swimming pools getting closed. I remember that. All because Southern California was having a drought. And so we got to pay the price up north. That pissed a lot of us off. And that's where most of the taxes get paid. It's in Northern California. And it all goes down south.
What a mess.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the one that should be just, we joked for years that eventually Phoenix will be the new Hollywood when LA fucking falls into the ocean. But I don't know. They talk about how God creates destruction in order to do stuff. It's like, well, LA still exists, so I don't believe that's true at all.
I agree with her, though. LA needs to be his own little kind of thing.
Yeah, it's its own little place.
Yeah.
Have their own capital. I liked it when I lived I lived in Davis first, and then I moved to Sacramento, and I liked it there. I was there for the Foothill incident with the Asian gang. Took those people hostage at the Good Guys store. That was gnarly. One bad shot by a sniper and led to people getting shot.
Giant fuck up.
He tried to shoot the guy with the gun through a slanted door. The glass door was slanted, and the bullet didn't hit the target. It ricocheted. And that guy and another guy ran down the hostages, just shooting them. It was
That's
bad.
fucked up.
Some people got out. The windows got shot out, and so they ran out of the windows. It was an ugly scene, man. Ugly scene. Sorry, I had a weird hair in my glove. It was sticking like way out. I'm like, well, it seemed to be really knotted into the glove. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. These are cool, by the way. They work with my screen. I like that. And your two-way split will cause us to go with LA. I don't want that. But that's what Northern California wants. They want to split from Southern California because it's a burden to them. Always, everything comes from north and flows downward. It doesn't flow back up. And that's why they want to do that. And so I tell people that don't want to get stuck there, move to Northern California. I love Northern California. It's really nice, except for San Francisco now. It's a shithole.
Is it?
Oh, it's a shithole. I mean, it's literal shit on the streets.
Ew.
People are shitting on the streets. Yeah, San Francisco can fall off. the continent, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a natural city to begin with. It's man-made.
Aren't all cities man-made?
No, it's physically man-made. We made that area that the city is on.
Oh, that's what you mean.
But I mean, part of the city is actually part of the peninsula coming up, but we added on to it so the city could be bigger.
Well, that's what they did in Dubai too. With the
Scary
palm.
thing about San Francisco is it sits on a fault line.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody for being here, man. I hope everybody had a great New Year's. Awesome one. Deleted scenes. Dragon Ruse. Aerial Ballet. Emotionally Unstable Amphibian. Lady V Elements. Dad Man Walking, which we spent time with Dad Man during New Year's. Scribe Light. Hinatski. Andy Morrow. Snortopus Cuber. I want to thank all you guys for being here today. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Hey, it's 2024. So welcome to the next month, learning how to write 2024 and having to correct your fucking dates when you write them down.
Oh my God, yeah. I had such a hard time with that when I was in school.
It happens every year. There's like that that little window where you just keep writing, fuck, I wrote that, and you turn that 3 into a 4. It's sort of like when I got in trouble once. I got an F for art, and I tried to turn it into an A.
Imagine that, Gerry getting in trouble.
I got kicked out of class. I told you about that. Teachers want me to do stuff like the other students, whereas Mr. Johnson challenged me to do other things. He let me do sculpture and doing all these paintings and stuff. And Mrs. Brittle, she wanted no part of that. And she made me sit out in the hall because I refused to partake in some of the stupid collage shit she wanted me to do. And what is it, macrame? And oh my God, it was ridiculous. I'm like, help me be an artist. You're not even trying. Well, these things will help you. No, they retard the process. She didn't like that I said that to her too. Because I really did tell her. I said, what you're doing retards the process of what Mr. Johnson was doing, helping me. And it's so sad. I lost Mr. Johnson this year. He finally, God, that man lived for forever. I thought he was just going to keep going. And we lost him this year.
Last year, you mean?
Hey, Zach's here.
Zach's, Happy New Year.
Hi, Zach's. Happy New Year.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Bingo. As Paul Newman would do. Happy New Year, man. We also can't lose the Central Valley because it makes a bunch of food. I don't know. I think anything north is like rice is grown in a lot of people don't know this. Tracy, California is the only place in the world that half the year is a swamp and the other half is a desert. And that is where a lot of rice is grown in Tracy, California. And it's part of Northern California, so it would go with it. There's a lot of food production in Northern California and beverage. But with taxes that's been infringed on a lot of these companies, they've left California.
Is that on my end, or did Gary's audio just go all weird and muffled?
Yeah, it's getting a little weird.
Oh, really? I don't show anything showing I'm losing.
No, you're back now. No. But for a while you
were. Well, at least we got Tulare Lake back, so maybe we won't be stealing so much northern water. That'd be nice. Because that's one of the beasts that Northern California has, is that during droughts in the South, the North gets fucking hammered for it. And I remember getting pissed about that because I couldn't water my lawn. You get caught doing that, you get fined. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap it up now. I think it's good. Happy New Year's, everybody. I hope everybody has a safe and prosperous 2024. I hope it doesn't suck. Every time we think it's not going to suck, it ends up sucking.
Dude, you have an election this year. This is gonna be crazy year.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm hoping so. So I'm just become a little more cynical. The closer I get to 60, the more cynical I
Yeah,
get.
that's what age is doing with you.
I just seen so many times I put hope into shit and it just doesn't turn out. It's like the other day someone says, well, Eric July might back your project. He's not going to back my project. I'm not on his radar. And I'm not mad about it. I'm just not on his radar. If I tried to be on his radar, I'd probably be spending most of my time trying to do that. He's focused on what he's doing. And I don't like when people try to guilt and make him feel bad for what he does. But some of my friends were like tagging him, going, if you want to back something, back this. He was trying to make a point with somebody. Somebody was being a shitheel with him. He didn't like it. So he tried to fund their project to make a point with him. Then they like refunded it back to him. And says, well, give it to somebody who really needs it, like Vindicated Inc. And he's not paying attention. It's not on his fucking radar. And I'm not hurt by it, just not, but everybody have a great day today. And we're going to start ramping up after tomorrow with Vindicated again. So I hope all you guys will help us by sharing this stuff out and keeping us in people's view. That helps a lot, man. It really does. So, but anyway, end of the show. I hope everybody had a great New Year's Eve. Didn't drink too much. I got drunk the night before and I didn't want to. Scott just kept feeding me extra booze during the thing. And you put booze in front of me, I'm going to drink it. I'm Irish, for God's sake. It's what I do. So I drank the crap out of it. And at one point I'm like, I gotta go into I need to go into the cave. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, just leave me the fuck alone. I'm drunk. I don't want to be around people when I'm drunk. I went in the cave and I played video games till I sobered up. What was that by Kyle? What did he say?
He said, we got you, Gerry.
I appreciate it, Zax. Hope to join you again on your show and to talk about the book. More stuff coming up. I think I'm probably going to do a new trailer. I don't know if Shinazi's going to be able to help me with it, but I'm probably going to do it. My focus needs to be completely on Vindicated for the next month, at least, probably more, because I got to finish drawing it too. But we got to get I just want to make sure that Richard gets paid. I can't fucking think this. So, and he's ready to start. I told him I'm going to send him the script this week, so he'll get the script. So I'll finish editing it. I left the T out. Editing it.
I'm excited for his chapter.
I am too. It's going to be a lot shorter. Right now it's 33 pages. That's bullshit. Doesn't need to be that long. That was the writer before, and I'm just throwing out stuff that he wrote, and putting back what I had in it. Focusing on the simple part of the story. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. So, but anyway, Happy New Year's, guys, and we'll see you. Well, the Chief will be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, right?
Death Wish.
Yeah. Yeah, I might tune in and watch that one because I love Death Wish. So, anyway, Happy New Year's, guys.
Bye, guys.